guys, it's me, Shala360. I'm sorry this review is late. I've tried so many times to do this review for Cheese in the Trap episodes 7 and 8, but I have to say there's so much that happened with these two episodes. There's so much I want to talk about, and every time I get started to film this, I start talking about one thing, and then I feel like I need to talk about something else. And then this episode had a lot of flashbacks, and a lot of the storylines are layered and kind of interweaved with one another, and it was too much for me. And I've been trying to film this review for 3 days. I've done over 80 takes. I mean, it really is legitimately one of the hardest things I've had to do in a long time. And I can tell you that after filming unboxing videos and chat videos and other videos for over a year and a half now, going on 2 years, I've been making videos for YouTube. And most things I do, it's a one-take thing, maybe at the most 10 takes. I've never had to do this much to film a video. But the reason I have to is because, number one, this show is amazing, excellent. Number two, there's so many things that happen in this show, and it moves at such a fast pace that there's a lot of ground to cover. And number three, the acting on this show is some of the most top-tier acting I've seen in a K-drama in a long time. And it's top-tier not because these people are, having to play multiple personality characters like Kill Me, Kill Me. It's not top tier because we're getting a lot of crying scenes like a Kim So-hyun type thing. It's top tier because of how absolutely normal people are playing their roles, or how absolutely sinister people are playing their roles. The actress that plays Hong Sul, I've already told you guys before, she is amazing, and I plan to look at more of her stuff after the show is over because I don't want to taint how she's portraying this character by looking at other work just yet. But I need to follow up on her because she is doing a phenomenal job. But the actor that's playing Yoo Jung, I've said, is doing a great job as well. The actor that's playing Baekhyun, I've never seen him in anything before, but he's hot as hell. And he really does do a good job of giving off that vibe of an insecure, heart on his sleeve, live wire type of guy. Very sincere though. And then the actor who, to me, right now is really my main focus is the actor playing Young-goon. That guy, they might really need to start watching him because he's playing his character almost too good. Like, he's playing his character like a legit mentally disturbed person. And I don't think I've ever been as frightened for Hong Sul in the show as I am right now. So Young-goon is the stalker. We talked about him the last time, and I had made mention that, Hong Sul really ought to not... She should have confronted Yoo Jung about this, and that would have been a main thing in the middle of our relationship, because it would have been important to me to find out, did you have anything to do with this? And if you did, how could you do this? Fuck you, we're over. But now, after going through episodes 7 and 8, and seeing the history of Young-goon's obsession with Hong Sul, where it came from, who encouraged it, and everything else, man, I hate Yoo Jung right now. I really do. I really do, because I think maybe Hong Sul inadvertently may have become the focus of this guy by being kind to him. But for Yoo Jung to play his cat and mouse game, set his trap, and not think about what a real beast he unleashed, it just goes to show that certain traps you set in this world, you can't always have control over, and sometimes it leads to a domino effect. You set one trap, which starts a chain of events that sets off another trap, that sets off another trap, and pretty soon you've got something that's blown way out of proportion from what you intended. And I really don't know what Yoo Jung could do to fix the situation other than hiring a hitman to kill Young-goon, because the things that Young-goon is doing, it's both smart and silly at the same time. So his plan to get Hong Sul to become his woman is silly. The idea that after he ostracizes her from everybody and breaks up all of her relationships, that she'll come crawling to him for companionship and love, that part is silly. But the steps that he's going about to get this taken care of are extremely smart and show a level of cunning and deception that really do rival that of Yoo Jung. He has somehow managed to take the whole business department thinking he's some kind of weirdo and turning them all on his side by manipulating Eun-taek. he manages to take Minsu, who's a very insecure girl who probably suffered from some sort of personality disorder, and take her obsession with Hong-sul and her just really wanting to find a friend. Like, her obsession with Hong-sul really stems from an admiration and wanting to establish some sort of friendship. He manipulates that need in her to use her as a wedge, or to pry Hong-sul away from her boyfriend, the rest of the business department, possibly her friends. I mean, what he's doing is so well crafted. Now, granted, when he's in a face-to-face confrontation with Yoo Jung, his well thought out plans don't go as well as he intends for that particular person. But when it comes to Hong-sul and maybe some other more weak-minded people, everything's falling into place. And I can't believe what a good job this actor is doing. I can't believe the amount of emotional tension the show has managed to build. And I can't believe that something that I thought was going to be a nice, fun little drama has become something that I spend all day thinking about. Like, on the days when I watch the drama, because I usually watch the drama on either a Saturday or a Sunday. For the remainder of that day and well into the next day, all I can think about is the drama. I rerun it over in my head. I talk to myself about what's going on with the characters, the history of the characters, where I think the story is going, what impact I think what I just saw is going to have on the rest of the storyline. And it's been a long time since I've had a show give me that feel. Second lead syndrome, I've got it in spades, especially now that I see what all Yoo Jung has done. You know, when you think about the beginning of the show, and you think about how everyone told Hong-sul that she was crazy and paranoid to think that Yoo Jung was out to get her, but now you see the whole young goon situation and how he really was out to get her. Even if it wasn't like, you know, standing around rubbing his hands together, making it, even if he wasn't doing that, he was out to get her. He was out to ruin her. And it's just, I don't know how I'm going to get over this. Like, the young goon thing, I don't know how I'm going to get over this. Because in real life, even though this is all for drama effect and everything else, in real life, there are women who get put in these situations with these obsessive, compulsive types that don't make it out of it alive. And with the way this actor is playing this on this show, this is one of those moments where if this is real life, I wouldn't be surprised if it ends horribly. I think probably the most shattering scenes for me regarding this were the scenes where Hong-sul was in her apartment, scared of these presents and begging him to quit calling her and to leave her alone. She's in between like anger, frustration, sadness, and fear. And then when he sneaks up on her in the dark in the parking lot while she's walking on her way home, I mean, these are incidents, like, they just feel like they're real. And I mean, bravo to the show's producers, writers, actors, cinematographers, everybody, because like they're doing a brilliant job with this show. But yeah, this show is amazing. The show is amazing. It really is. This is gonna be landmark TV. I feel like having a show like this, other shows that have anywhere similar kind of plots or storylines, they're going to have to step their game up, because you're seeing like a history-making series as far as I'm concerned. I know it sounds like I'm really pumping it up, but I can't think of another series that's made me feel this way so fast. I mean, and there was other like lighter-hearted stuff that happened in this show in these last couple of episodes. Baking Ho has decided to pursue piano again, which I'm really glad for, because I felt for a long time like he was lost. Like he was just this like exposed nerve, heart on his sleeve guy. And I felt like he needed direction. And the only really passionate thing we've seen from him this whole time, besides, you know, kind of his passionate hate towards Yoo Jung, was his passionate love towards this art that he thought he had lost forever. And it would be very gratifying to see him get that back. That was a great thing to see. And then I was also proud of a small moment in the series when Hong-sul was able to tell off Sang-chul about his laziness when it comes to these group projects, because that was a long time coming. So I was glad to see that too. But I will say, like, my thoughts were completely captured by the whole Young-goon thing. Like, everything about the Young-goon situation just totally overtook me. Even in the face of the whole landlady's grandson actually being some con artist and the way he attacked Hong-sul, which that was another really tense, highly emotionally charged moment when he was strangling her and accusing her of being an amoral source of all sin and then threw her down the stairs. And I think probably the reason why the scene with her getting thrown down the stairs and then the scene with the burglar being beat up by Yoo Jung, one of the things that also made that a really natural scene for me is that it didn't have a bunch of quick camera cuts. It almost felt to me like she fell down those stairs in slow motion. But I think that's like the way a person would legitimately fall down the stairs. Getting beat up. I don't think that people are always getting Jackie Chan when they get beat up in the street. Sometimes it's like, I'm going to kick you and I'm going to wait for you to try to get up and then I'm going to kick you again. And it's going to be a long beat down that you're going to get from me. But yeah, I feel like it's just been pitch perfect. Just pitch perfect. And I can't even begin to anticipate where I see the show going from here. I think if I did have to make any predictions though, I think that Yoo Jung is going to have to do some self-examination to kind of see where he went wrong with this setup he did with Young-goon and how he's going to get Hong-sul out of it. I think that he's going to have to question himself in the way that he treats Baek-in-ho. I think that he's going to have some questions for himself about what he's going to do about Baek-in-ho and her situation because she seems kind of unredeemable right now. I see some complications with Min-soo because on the one hand, I feel like she's been instructed by Young-goon and manipulated by Young-goon to hate Hong-sul, but now that she's kind of got a pseudo crush on Hong-sul's brother, how is that going to resolve itself? I want to know more about Da-young, who is playing Young-goon's love interest, even though he obviously is willing to forfeit her for Hong-sul. But I want to know kind of what she gets out of being such a bitch. Like, from the very first moment she appeared on screen, she's done nothing but be an evil witch. And I want to know what she gets out of it. Because it's been in little things. When Hong-sul was complaining about not getting into the previous professor's class, Da-young was like, well, I'm in Professor Kong's class and I don't know what the problem is. When it came to their group assignment, she didn't want to turn in her share of the work even though she had done it. She decides to start redating this guy who's crazy even though she has to have known about the way he was towards Hong-sul. I doubt that this has escaped her notice. And then she teams up with him to applaud Min-soo for kind of showing up Hong-sul in public in front of the rest of the business department. So I kind of want to know what her agenda is. Like, I'm curious about that one. I think we'll be seeing more of her going forward. And then, I don't know. I think the only cute thing that we're going to see going forward is more of kind of the cute relationship building interaction between Yoo Jung and Hong-sul because she doesn't know about his nefarious plan to trap her in the stalker situation just yet. So they'll still have some like awkward trying to kiss type moments. I did not like the fact that when he was drunk, he kissed her and she just took it. I think she should have pushed him off. And also, I kind of want to see what's going to go on with Hong-sul's dad. I have to say, I was surprised by his reaction when it came to when it came to Yoo Jung announcing to Hong-sul's parents that his dad was the owner of the Taerong group. And the dad, at first he's all pompous, like, so what do? You better have a good plan if you're going to take care of my daughter and all this stuff. And then when he finds out your daughter's dating a multi-millionaire son, all of a sudden he's like, all caught up in his feelings, like he doesn't want to be nice no more. And I want to know kind of where that comes from. I want to know why her dad is like just so fucking cruel. He didn't want her to go to school because he said it's waste money to educate a girl. Apparently he's lost the family's money over and over again, and I can't tell if his kind of coldness towards Yoo Jung was because of jealousy of the fact that Yoo Jung is an example of a successful person and he doesn't want his daughter to be with a successful person. I don't know. That whole relationship is weird. I don't know what that is. And then also Bora and Eun-taek, I can't remember which one of you I talked about this with, but you said you really want Bora to stop ignoring how good a man Eun-taek is. I'm right there with you. Especially like this last episode, episode 8, when Eun-taek had punched out Young Goon because he implied that he had some sexy photos of Bora that he was getting money for. I feel like Untaek is somebody who really hasn't gotten his due in the show just yet. Like, he really has been there for everybody so far. And Bora keeps acting like he's nothing more than like a casual friend when she knows this boy likes her. You know, and she kind of shows interest in him, but then she pulls back, and I'm just like, girl, why are you like this? Is it because you're waiting for somebody better to come along, or is it because you're afraid to date anybody? I don't know, but I want her to get her shit together. And then regarding a comment that Shawwal5 made about calling Yoo-jung a sociopath instead of a psychopath, I think you may be right about him. I still stick by psychopath when it comes to Baekhyuna, but when it comes to Yoo-jung, I think sociopath might be the thing, because really it's his interactions with society that are the problems, not necessarily him not being in tact with his own emotions, because there are times when he does display actual joy, and I think he is very kind of reserved and very inward facing. But at the same time, I kind of do stick by my idea of him having maybe a special kind of autism, that maybe emotionally he can't get himself out of himself very well. So we'll see where that goes. But other psychological conditions that I think are in this show, definitely obsessive compulsive tendencies for Young Goon, bipolar, possibly personality disorders with Min Soo. There's a lot. There's a lot. I wish that I was taking a psychology class right now, because I think that this show would be an excellent side-along to a psychology course, because there's probably a lot you can identify from watching the show. But anyway, this is going to be my review, because I'm just at the point where I can't continue trying to film these reviews. And this review, I promise you, is all over the place. Sometimes I started a sentence and I didn't know where I was going to end it, and I don't even know what I was talking about at the beginning of the sentence, because there's just so many thoughts going through my mind. What you guys don't know, before I film any of these videos, I take notes the whole time I'm watching the show. And so I take one whole sheet of notes for the first episode that I watch, and then when I watch the second episode, I take another whole sheet of notes. And the notes I take, they're not long notes, it's just like little FYIs, things that I thought were important during the show that I kind of want to remind myself to bring up. And this time, I can tell you every single note that I have here is something that I thought was super important that should have been talked about. And out of this all, I don't even know how to cut this down. So that's the reason why my review is just hurly-burly, because my thoughts are everywhere on here, and everything I wrote here I felt like was important. So trying to narrow this down has been impossible. But anyway, thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. I'm sorry I didn't stick to my schedule of posting on Sundays and Mondays. I will try to do better with this next set of episodes, even though it will be hard because I'm dealing with a couple of family issues going forward. But I'm going to do my best to make sure I have uploaded another review on Monday. So look forward to that for episodes 9 and 10. Thank you so much, you guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye.